UFC 320 just wrapped up, and I am so thankful that this is the timeline we're living in. Alex Pereira is actually back, So many people before were saying Alex Pereira's done, he's too old. Once you get that type of fame and money, you just don't want it as bad anymore. But thank fucking God. That was all proved wrong. Alex Pereira is back, and he just beat his toughest opponent in the easiest manner of all of his other fights. This was his best performance against his toughest opponent. Magomed Ankalaev is no joke, okay? People can, say things now, but before this, the narrative was that Pereira was going to get chinned. That was the narrative coming into the fight. And Pereira comes out there, puts on an absolute masterclass, and saves the UFC. I'm just amazed. When I was watching this fight live, I wish I recorded my reaction because genuinely, I started freaking the fuck out. I was going crazy. I was like, holy shit, dude. There's no way we got this lucky that we actually got a Pereira win. I was just going crazy because, this is perfect, man. This is exactly what the sport needed. Thank God that inbred fuck is out of here, okay? Okay, and now it's a little bit mean. I don't hate Ankalaev, but compared to Pereira, come on, man. We need Pereira as a champion. This is what the UFC needs. The UFC needs this, thank God. And now what's next for Alex Pereira? People are talking about Olberg, but come on. I know Dana White, for some reason, I don't know why Dana White just hates the sport, but Dana White's he was a middleweight, man. He can't be going to heavyweight. What? Come on, dude. Dana, go back to boxing. Go promote, the next big boxing event. That's gonna fucking suck. By the way, Alex Pereira versus Ankalaev was more entertaining than, any fight on the Canelo Crawford card. Just saying, by the way. But this isn't a boxing hate video, right? But we need Alex Pereira versus Tom Aspinall. Okay, Tom Aspinall needs to starch Cyril Gane out cold, as he should, or submit him in one round. And then we get the super of all super fights. Pereira, if he beats Tom, he's the best ever, okay? I don't care. I don't care that he lost to Izzy. I don't care that he lost the first time to Ankalaev. If he beats Tom, then he is the best MMA fighter of all time. Gonna win a belt in 3 divisions. He will have beaten everybody who beat him, or everyone he's faced, at one point. Now, the loss to Ankalaev the first time is looking a lot more like the excuses Pereira said were actually true. He wasn't making them up. Maybe he really was 40%, Apparently he had rotavirus or something, and coming in with injuries, and it makes sense, right? Because this was an absolute domination, a perfect game plan and execution by Pereira, and literally emoted on him just like he did with Jamal Hill. And it makes the first fight that was not razor close, but it was a very close 48-47. It makes that fight look like, maybe Ankalaev isn't even that good, That's what Alex Pereira made it seem like. And Ankalaev is good. That just shows that he is very back. And he's a real threat to Tom Aspinall, okay? I know Tom Aspinall said that he was going to double leg him the first 15 seconds of the fight. Very smart, by the way. But, there's something about his presence, about his stance. Dudes just don't shoot on him, man. I don't know what it is. But we need Pereira versus Tom. I'm just so happy, right? This is the best case scenario. And for all the people who are like, man, dude, I really wanted a big Ank. Shut the fuck up, dude. Oh my God. These big Ank people, how are you ever rooting for this guy against Alex Pereira? And it's not even, I don't hate Dagestani fighters, right? Islam Makhachev is one of my favorite fighters. He's in my top 3 favorite fighters because he's entertaining. I really like his style. But Ankalaev, and his personality too, but Ankalaev, he just does not have a personality, not very promotable. And come on, you're really gonna choose Big Ank over Shama? But thank God Alex Pereira is back. And the next fight, Merab Dvalishvili versus Corey Sandhagen. Now, Merab is very good, clearly. Bantamweight GOAT, arguably, I mean, probably top 5 of all time now. His resume is just getting better and better and better with the activity. And I predicted Merab to KO or TKO Sandhagen in my last video, and he almost did. He almost did. I was wrong, but I was almost right. He was very, very close. I do think he actually could have gotten the TKO, but he chose to just grapple fuck him the entire round instead of actually KO him, which, that's Merab. That's Merab for you. And I do like Merab. His style is growing on me, seeing these takedowns over and over again. It's not an Alex Pereira, but it's still, it's not Khamzat Chimaev, right? It's not Khamzat Chimaev versus DDP, right? And now, look, I know Merab is incredibly good, but how good is he really? Because Sandhagen made it very competitive. He won the first round very clearly. Arguably won, I think it was round 4. But yeah, it was a clear Merab win. Very clear Merab win. But my question is, Merab is beating all these guys. He beats Umar, beats O'Malley twice. And it's like, I don't know. I just feel like he's beatable. Yes, he's very, very, very good. But Sandhagen wasn't so exhausted at the end of the fight like Umar was. Sandhagen was fine. Merab just did his thing, and Merab's not going to gas out. We know that. But the style to beat Merab is a guy who can put his lights out, like Malcolm Wellmaker. I'm not saying Malcolm Wellmaker is the guy to beat Merab, but it's a style like his, right? But what about Sean O'Malley, right? I mean, Sean O'Malley, on paper, is that guy. But we had that fight twice, and Merab still destroyed it. Or the first fight was close, actually. The first fight was close. The first fight actually was arguably a win for O'Malley. A very close competitive fight. Rounds 1, 3, and 5. Just watch them, all I'm saying. But I do think Merab won the first fight with O'Malley. And obviously, we know what happened in the rematch. But who beats Merab? You need to be able to put Merab's lights out to beat him, or be Volkanovski, okay? The reason that Merab isn't going up to 145, Alexander Volkanovski is a stylistic nightmare for Merab, okay? Merab's the guy who is going to pressure you and take you down over and over and over again and just try to gas you out. He's not going to be able to do that to Volk. Volk is unbreakable, okay? Islam Makhachev couldn't break him, okay? Islam struggled to take him down, and Islam was honestly the one who broke in that 5th round, not Volkanovski. If Islam can't break Volk, Merab's not breaking him, okay? I think if Merab were to move up, he would get 50-45 by Volk, probably. Maybe even finished, but probably 50-45, right? And let's say, he fights Lopez for vacant title. I think Lopez is going to starch him out cold. So, Merab is great in his division, but I don't see him having success at 145. Now, a Pantoja fight, very, very interesting. But then again, I just think Merab is too physical for Pantoja, even if Pantoja has the skills, right? Pantoja, obviously you got lighter man skill being Pantoja, but Merab was able to beat Umar, a Dagestani who's very, very skillful. Even if Pantoja has all these great skills and is very, very, very good, I still don't see Pantoja beating Merab. I think Merab beats everybody at 135, and he says he wants to make a quick turnaround and fight Piotr Yan in December, which I think is great. The only reason that, I like, or not the only reason, Rip, but one of the reasons why, I'm not a fan of Khamzat Chimaev, but I am a huge fan of Merab, because Merab's actually active. He's active, trying to keep up with his division. He's going to defend the title 4 times in 1 year if, they actually schedule him for December, and if he beats Piotr Yan, which he probably will, let's be real. But it's just weird, during this fight, I was just yeah, Merab is clearly good, but, is he that good? On paper, he is that good. But, in the performances, obviously he submitted O'Malley. That was amazing. Sandhagen made it very competitive, though, and, I just don't know. It's kind of weird, because, obviously he's good. But, I expected, I don't know. Like, Merab's striking defense is not the greatest, alright? He's not the most technical guy, but he just goes, okay? He just goes and does his thing. But yeah, I'm excited for Merab versus Petr Yan in December. Let's get on to the next fight. Jiri Prochazka is just built different, okay? Jiri, in the first round, I was like, oh no, Jiri, please don't get chin. Because, Khalil in the first round looking fast, looking sharp, looking, powerful. And he's landing, and Jiri is not really being Jiri. Sometimes Jiri just like jumps up and down like Mario, dude, during the fight. I fucking love Jiri. How can you not love Jiri? Jiri is awesome. And you see Jiri getting visibly upset. Jiri's huffing and puffing because Khalil's landing on him, and he's like, "Come on, man!" But he makes it a Jiri Prochazka fight in later round 2 and round 3, and gets a brutal knockout, which I was not expecting. I was expecting Jiri to win by decision because Khalil's a very tough guy to put away with one punch knockout power. Pereira couldn't do it. Pereira had to TKO Khalil after, Khalil took so much damage, but Jiri shut his lights out and won. Maybe he just landed it crazy. I don't know. But Jiri is just different. He beats everybody, or has beaten everybody, unless their name is Alex Pereira. Now we need Jiri to fight Carlos Ulberg for the vacant light heavyweight belt, while Alex Pereira goes up to heavyweight. And Jiri better beat Ulberg's ass, okay? I do not want Ulberg as a champion, okay? I'm not saying Ulberg isn't good, but I mean, come on, like, if we got to choose one or, out of these two, I'm choosing Prochazka every single day as champion, right? I love Prochazka. And is Prochazka the UFC's BMF, right? Because, I mean, Holloway has the title officially, but let's just be real here, right? If we're just being real, who's in the conversation for the UFC's BMF? Jiri Prochazka, Diego Lopez, maybe even Alex Pereira after this performance. But who else? I mean, I think it's those three guys, honestly. And it's really hard to deny Jiri as the BMF, Yeah, he lost to Pereira, but he's not making excuses. And he's coming back and beating literally everybody else. Dude, I fucking love Jiri so much. He's one of my favorite fighters, he's up there. But, yeah, next for him, Jiri is going to get that belt back, okay? I believe it. I think Jiri can beat Ulberg, okay? Ulberg's good, but, I'm not sure how good he is, right? But next fight, I'm skipping here because, oh my god, just how bad is Patchy Mix, dude? Like, seriously. Okay, first off, the fight was very, very, very close. This dude, I forgot this dude's name, not gonna lie. It was like Jacob Witch or something like that. But it was a very close fight, and this is a kid, right? A kid making his UFC debut, coming from a regional promotion. Patchy Mix is the vet. Patchy Mix was the defending Bellator champ, by the way, okay? Who came into the UFC with a record of 20-1. Defending UFC champion, by the way. And this is just some hotshot kid on the regional scene who looked good and talented, yeah, but not, like, incredible. He didn't look like he's gonna go out there and be the next Ilya Taporia. He looked talented. He looked pretty good. But, I mean, like, it's just like, bro, like, this, the kick in the balls. It's like, bro, what are you doing, man? That did not hit you in the balls. Why are you trying to take a break? You're the vet, dude. You should be trying to break this kid. Like, what are you doing? This is the Bellator champion? What are you doing, man? Like, I just don't know. I don't know, because, I mean, look at this. I mean, 20-1 coming into the UFC. That's legit, right? And he has some legit wins on his record. But, like, he just comes to the UFC and sucks fucking ass. Like, just how bad is he, dude? Like, what's next for him? Lost to Batista, lost to this kid, even if it was a robbery, he should have performed better. He could have performed better. And, I'm not hyped at all for anything from Patchy Mix right now. You know what I want to see? Why don't we do, like, Patchy Mix versus Malcolm Wellmaker, dude? I want to see Malcolm Wellmaker sleep your ass, Patchy, okay? Or, maybe there's Alexandre Taporia, we got all these interesting guys. But, I mean, this was just a really pitiful performance, right? Especially knowing the hype he had behind him. And it kind of makes you think about the other organizations outside of the UFC, right? Like Paul Hughes versus Usman Nurmagomedov, too. I watched that the other day. I made a video about it, talking about how the 50-45 scorecard was the worst thing I've ever seen. But if Usman Nurmagomedov comes to the UFC, dude, he'd be in like the, I don't know, top 15 maybe, but he's not champion, okay? He's getting slimed out in one against Poirier, right? But just trying to cover everything else important now, all right? Josh Emmett. What do we do with Josh Emmett, man? Gets submitted easily, verbally taps by Yusuf Zalal. Very good win from Yusuf Zalal. He's 40 years old, man. 40 years old at featherweight. You know what I say? I say just go fight Michael Chandler, dude. Josh Emmett, all right, you're not gonna be up in the rankings anymore, all right? You're old. If you want to keep fighting, why don't you fight Michael Chandler, dude? I know it's a different weight class, but you're a short guy. Michael Chandler's a short guy. Both very explosive, very powerful, and that would be a very amazing fight, even if it's not a high level fight. It would not be a high level fight, dude. That would be one of the lowest level fights in UFC history, maybe. But I mean, is that not a guaranteed fucking banger? Like sometimes it's these street beast level fights that are amazing. Like someone's going out cold in Josh Emmett versus Michael Chandler. All right, we know that for a fact. Okay, and like, come on, what? Okay, if not this matchup, then what are we gonna do with Josh Emmett? Because he's still in the rankings, right? Yeah, I think he's still in the featherweight rankings. Are we gonna give him some up and comer, or what? Like, I just don't know. I wouldn't really want to see that, honestly. Why don't you take some time, bulk up, and go fight Michael Chandler for fun, and then retire, maybe. Go fight Michael Chandler for your money fight, and then, the loser of that fight is definitely done, But Yusuf Zalal, it was a great performance from him, got the job done easily. I picked him by decision. He got the sub. He's on a 5-fight win streak now, so, I mean, I think he deserves someone pretty high up there, like Yair Rodriguez. We're not giving him a title shot. I think he called in his post-fight interview speech. He wants Lopez to get a title shot against Volk, and he wants to fight Murphy. Dude, look, I love Lopez. Diego Lopez is an amazing fighter, one of my favorites. Arguably the UFC's BMF, but he does not deserve a rematch with Volkanovski. Okay, he got like 49-46. Okay, like come on, like. He's not like a defending champion either. He's just a cool fighter, Diego Lopez, right? I mean, we need to do probably Murphy or Evloev for the title shot, But I don't even know what the fuck Evloev is doing, right? He might not even be fighting again. Who knows? But yeah, you should probably Yusuf Zalal. I think Yair Rodriguez is a good fight for him, and Joe Pyfer. Okay, Joe Pyfer versus Abu Nurmagomedov. Dude, bro turned the body cam off. Great performance. He started grappling, which I did not expect, but hey, he got it done by submission. Good win from him. I don't know. People are saying, I've seen MMA gurus say give him Marvin Vettori for the science experiment. See if the chin will hold up against that power. I get the idea, but Marvin Vettori is on like a 3-fight losing streak. I don't know if that's the fight I want to see. Why not give him Paulo Costa? I mean, there's a lot of things we can do with Paulo Costa, but that's a fun fight. But if not, give him somebody else in the top 15. Now, I keep forgetting how to pronounce this dude's name. It's like Abu Qatar. I don't know, dude. Look, I'm shit at fucking names, but I know the people, right? I'm gonna call him Mini Francis Ngannou. This was a hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby type matchup. Okay, who the fuck allowed this, dude? This dude, Tristan Vines, I think his name was. He was just a kid on the regional scene who in the past 4 years who's gotten KO'd or TKO'd like 3 or 4 times, I believe. And they give him, he's a welterweight, by the way, and then we give him this dude? We give him Mini Francis Ngannou? I mean, I get it was on short notice, and I respect him for taking the matchup, but I mean, like, dude, the first minute of the fight, he is just running away, man. You gotta do something other than that. And then the first time he comes in, gets cracked in the face with a knee. It sucks for him. Hopefully, I mean, he got paid probably, like $12,000. That's your losing minus taxes. You got knocked out with those elbows for like a few bans, so and now you're in the UFC, so if you can maybe go down to welterweight and pick up a win, maybe it would be worth it for him, but this fight should not have been allowed. This was a clear mismatch. And now the last fight I'm going to talk about, Ju Sung Yu from the Korean Zombies promotion, I believe. Dude, you are not a K-pop star though, bro. Quit emoting during the fight. Okay, you're not Merab. Okay, you can't be Cody Garbrandt. You can't be doing none of that, okay? He tried to be a K-pop star, tried to get that fan base, but yeah, it didn't go too well for him. He looked very talented. He looked smooth. He looked like he had that flow. But, sometimes you just got to keep your hands up, man. He had his hands down, and he got cracked, and, that will indeed do it. So, but, this was a generational card, in my opinion. We got some of the best, results with a Jiri win, with a Poatan Shama win. I'm not going back to the tire shop. Fucking badass, dude. I'm so happy. I was legitimately, just freaking the fuck out when Pereira, from the second, when Pereira started being aggressive in the opening seconds, I was like, oh shit, Pereira's fucking mad. But that's it for my recap video. Alex Poatan Pereira is too good. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. That's